I trust that you're doing very well there. This is the Happiest HR. I am Anselm, your career breakthrough sidekick. Now, I'm sure you'll be interested to know a bit about my career trajectory. So let me give you a bit about my career trajectory. My first HR role started in 2009. I was working before as an administrative and finance person. So in 2013, after I had finished my master's, I was given a role as a human resource practitioner, and I've been in HR for about 15 years. But when I first started my real HR role, I had to deal with what we call imposter syndrome, and that was on a very regular basis. I was, when I got the role, very excited to start my career, but I also felt like an imposter. I didn't have a lot of experience. All experience that I had was the theory of the classroom, and I wasn't sure if I could really do the job. But and in addition to that, also it was a role I had to fly back to Nigeria from the UK to do that job, and so it was something. It was me coming back to a terrain that I'd left for a while, and I wasn't sure really if I could do the job. But I overcame my doubt, and I did very well. Fast forward in 2013. In 2013, I had my first INGO job. I have been looking all while to work with the INGO sector, with the non-for-profit sector. And when I got the role, a month after I had assumed the role, my supervisor resigned. Now here was a challenge. The challenge was that we did not have a backup cover, and my supervisor was also in a field that was totally different from mine. I was in operations, and his experience was medical background. And I did not have a health background. But I told myself that whatever the case, I was not going to let this very project fail. And for 6 solid months, consecutively from back to back, I delivered on quality, I delivered on time, I did not compromise any standard. Despite the fact I did not have any health background. I remember what happened when he resigned. Something was telling me, you are always looking for this INGO role. Now you have it, and now you're about to trash out. So today I am here to share with us and tell you that you cannot let an imposter syndrome win. So an imposter syndrome is that little voice in your head that keep telling you that you are not good enough, and that you are going to be found as a fraud, and that you don't deserve your own success. It's an insidious voice that can crush your career, and if you let it in. Hi, my name is Anselm, your career breakthrough psychic. Today I'm here to tell you that you can win. You can't let imposter syndrome get you. You are good enough, you are talented, and you deserve your success. What is imposter syndrome? Imposter syndrome is a psychological phenomenon in which people doubt their accomplishment and feel that they are like a fraud, despite the fact that there are evidences to the contrary. It's especially common among high achievers and can lead to chronic underconfidence and self-sabotage. But before I tell you why it happens, I'll tell you what the statistics says. It's estimated that 70% of people will experience imposter syndrome at some point in time in their life. So why does it happen? There are a few theories that actually proposes the reason why we have imposter syndrome happening. One of the theories is that it could be the result of our educational system. From a very young age, we are being taught to compare ourselves to others and compete for grade. This can lead us to believe that we are not good enough and that we have to be perfect to succeed. The second thing is that it could also be due to the way our brains are being wired. Studies have shown that people with imposter syndrome tend to be more perfectionist, and they have higher standard for themselves than for others. This can also lead to a feeling of inadequacy and insecurity. The third reasons why that could probably be is the result of our culture. We live in a society that values success and achievement, and this can put pressure on us to feel that we need to perform perfectly at all time. Whatever the cause of imposter syndrome, it can be debilitating and can hold us back from reaching our full potential. If you are struggling with imposter syndrome, know that you are not alone and there are ways to overcome it. There are three different types of imposter syndrome that can affect your career: the perfectionist, the overachiever, and the expert. The perfectionist is someone who is never satisfied with their work. They are always striving for perfections, and this can be a very good thing if it motivates you to do the best, but it can also lead to burnout if you are constantly putting yourself under pressure. Perfectionists during interviews tends to be anxious and need to focus on their strength. An interview is just one step, and even if it doesn't go well, that doesn't mean that you are not qualified. Relax, be yourself, and do your best. The overachiever is someone who feels like they have to achieve in everything they set their sight on. This can lead to them taking on too much and becoming overwhelmed. It's important to remember that it is okay to fail sometime and that not everything has to be perfect. There are few key reasons they tend to be too focused on their own accomplishment and downplay the role of others. Secondly, they can come across as being arrogant and entitled. Finally, they may not be able to do justice to the response and adequately answer questions about their weaknesses. And the third one is the expert. The expert is someone who feels need to know everything about their field before. This can lead them to being afraid to take risks or try new things. It's important to remember that no one knows everything and that we all learn by doing. Now, how do you prevent imposter syndrome from affecting your career? Imposter syndrome is a common condition that can affect anyone regardless of their experience or their level of success. It's characterized by a feeling of self-doubt, inadequacy, and impostorism. If you are struggling with imposter syndrome, know that you are not alone. Here are some tips on how to beat it. One is acknowledge your feeling. The first step is to acknowledge that you are feeling insecure and doubtful. This isn't weakness. It's perfectly normal. Everyone can feel like an imposter sometime. 2, reframe your thinking. Once you acknowledge your feeling, it's time for you to start reframing your thinking. Instead of beating yourself up for being an imposter, remind yourself that everyone can feel that way sometime. It doesn't mean that you are not good enough, it just means that you are human. 3, believe in yourself. If you don't believe your own ability, it's going to be difficult to convince others of your own worth. Give yourself credit for your accomplishment and know that you have what it takes to succeed. 4, focus on your accomplishment. When you are doubting your abilities, take a step back and focus on your accomplishment. What have you achieved that proves that you are not an imposter? Make a list of those things and refer to them when you are feeling down about yourself. 5, take action despite doubt and keep taking actions despite the doubts. So finally, an imposter syndrome can be a real problem if you let it get the best of you. Don't despair. There are ways to overcome it. I have mentioned those ways. Remember, the first step, recognize that imposter syndrome is holding you back. Once you've identified the problem, you can start taking the step to address it. Talk to a trusted friend or a psychologist if you feel like that's necessary about your feeling or inadequacy. You can read books. I will read my Bible. I'll read books. And most importantly, give yourself credit for your accomplishment. You are not an imposter. You are a competent, capable individual who deserves your success. Once again, my name is Anselm, your career breakthrough psychic. If you feel that the content I've just shared is useful, please don't hesitate to share it to other persons who are struggling realizing their worth and values, because probably sometimes also because they have failed, sometimes because of where they're coming from. Don't let anything put a pressure on you. You are as unique as you are. You have your skill, you have your talent. And if you haven't subscribed, please kindly just subscribe, and don't forget to press the notification bell so that you keep having content as fresh as they come. Thank you so much. Goodbye.